This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Hey, main event Jay Uso is now in your city. It's just Jerry Ford, this guy, a lot of more love. Sound like this.
How y'all doing out there? On the real audience matter, it's all about me. Jay Uso, baby.
Talk to 'em, Moose. They ain't ready, they ain't listening. Yeah. Let's go. It's showtime now, baby. It's just me. Jerry Ford, it's just me. Jerry Ford, it's just me. Jerry Ford, it's got a lot of more love for knocking down like this. It's just me.
Welcome everybody to another edition, the War Report After Dark. Flying solo at the moment. I know Cat's about to hop on, but I think that's it. Al's at the Yankee game. Hopefully we can make this somewhat of a series as we're getting kind of embarrassed. But welcome everybody to another edition. I love the mashups. I thought this one was perfect now that we got the brothers back together, which is a big part of what we're going to talk about tonight. The Usos are back together. They embraced in the middle of the ring on SmackDown while Roman came out and overlooked and kind of didn't know how to feel about it. So it's all coming together because War Games is upon us. There's also rumors that this Saturday at the Crown Jewel, we may have Roman, Jimmy, and Jay versus Solo and the Tongas. So who knows? I think SmackDown this week is pre-recorded. And I think I saw something where it looks like we're going to get all three, Roman, Jay, and Jimmy, together in the ring throwing up the one. So it's all coming together. And then we've been talking a lot about Sami Zayn, especially last week. And now we actually got to see interaction. So now they're bringing Sami back in, and we haven't seen Sami in a while. So it was nice to see that. And now they're fucking with people because they show Sami interacting with Solo at the end of the show. And Jay and Jimmy kind of feeling like, okay, maybe he is more for Solo than he is for them. So that's bringing in some good contrast because now it's bringing them into this picture. Kat, what's going on? How are you?
How's it going?
It's going good. Did you hear the intro?
I did not. I was having difficulty logging on. I apologize. What did you
It's
say?
all good. Well, no, I forget what I said. I found a cool mashup, and it was very
cool.
fitting, but I'll play it for you later. Talking about the Usos reuniting on SmackDown, hugging it out, Roman coming out, all of it starting to come together. Last week we talked a lot about how Sami Zayn has not been on TV since his title match, keeping him kind of out there, and we've been saying we're just waiting because you got to have your honorary Us. We finally got a taste of Sami and the Usos. Didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the show last night, we see Sami speaking with Solo.
Yep.
I still think, at the end of the day, Sami may let Solo think he's with him.
Absolutely.
But in the end, he is the honorary Us, and he's going back to his tribal chief, the OTC.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not feeling 100% Usi yet, but he will.
The Usiness is upon us. It is coming.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited. It's just the layers just keep coming, and it's all coming together, right? Because we are not too far from War Games, where I have to believe we're setting up original versus 2.0,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
You're
And don't
gonna
forget-
need a fourth.
We still haven't had the return of Paul Heyman yet, either, to unify this.
Well, I've been saying from the very beginning, he will be the last piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. But
You know?
that's what's going to make everybody all on the same page just in time for War Games. 1,000,000%.
What would be great is to find out that Paul was behind everything that happened with Sammy. Because
Absolutely.
Sammy was always the glue
Correct.
that kept the family together.
Mhm.
Even when Jay hated him,
Yep.
he still was able to kind of keep the peace, so to speak.
Correct.
So, but this is going to be great because now to have them all as a unit rather than bowing down to Roman and
Correct.
all being face with Sammy, who made them break as heels. Imagine how
Exactly.
great this one's going to be.
The Steve Urkel of the WWE is returning. It was supposed to be a cameo, but he was
Yeah.
never a part of it.
But he did what he does. He hit it out of the park.
Yeah,
He
totally.
became bigger than the Bloodline for a while.
Oh, absolutely. Like that pop he got in Canada still goes down as one of the biggest pops ever.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
the
yeah.
pop when he turned on Roman to help Kevin Owens or whatever. He's genius at what he does. He makes it work really well.
He does. So I'm very excited to see where this is all going. And we'll touch more on the Bloodline and we'll touch more on all that. But at the beginning, one thing that they continue to do on both SmackDown and Raw that I'm loving is showing the people arriving. And
Yes.
then the very first person that's going to come out, they follow from the parking lot through Gorilla. You know,
Yep.
I love when they do that. And then they went and took it even further this week with Randy when he was coming out, and he
Yeah.
actually went behind Gorilla where you see Triple H sitting there
Working.
with the headset and doing his thing, Vince's chair, mind you, right? And kind of talks to him and says, I need Kevin Owens and this isn't the time. And Randy says, no problem, music hits now. And they follow him all the way down the ramp. Great promo to start the show with Randy and him calling Triple H out. I still love when Triple H comes out. I
Yes.
still wish we would get him in the ring one more time. And maybe one day we will. Obviously, he has to be healthy enough to do it. But even just him coming out and cutting a promo with Randy, because they are so good and they know each other so well. It was so believable.
I need the
And-
cerebral assassin that broke into my house and everything. Brilliant.
Right? Right? And then he got what he wanted, and he's getting Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel, which is going to be a great match. But if you notice, everybody that was there for Cody is turning on Cody.
Yes. Yes.
Once this feud is over with Kevin, there's only one person left to turn on Cody.
Randy Orton, baby.
And then we get Cody versus Randy.
Which is going to be another great.
Not only is it going to be great, but it keeps Cody out of the Bloodline story.
Yep. Yep.
Because we don't need Cody in the Bloodline story.
Correct.
I'm good with it this way. And I also love how they're teasing, branching the Bloodline members off. For example, that stare down, for as little as it was, but that crowd told the whole story when you had Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker nose to nose.
Holy crap.
Imagine how fucking good that match is going to be.
Yep.
And then you can have Jacob win the IC title.
Yep.
There's a lot of good things ahead. There's a lot of good things ahead. But I also feel they have to do something like put the IC title on Jacob at some point
Yes.
to keep the focus away from him being people wanting him to be solo and be the tribal chief.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Let him do his thing, because I think eventually this 2.0 bloodline will eventually turn on Solo. And
Yes.
Jacob will step up as the new tribal chief of them, and Solo will go back to the
Which I
OTC.
idea because he's the freak. He's everything that guy does is like amazing.
Hey, Mom, look what I did.
Who? Solo?
No, Jacob.
Oh, Jacob is unbelievable. He really is so fucking good. And I got to tell you, too, as much as I would love to see Jacob as the tribal chief, that is not to take anything away from Solo.
No,
I
not
think
at all.
Solo has done a great job. You talk about somebody that didn't talk
Right?
for what, like 4 fucking years almost, to now cutting promos every night, good promos,
Yep.
and
That
being
whole
like the Don of the fucking Samoan family.
That whole thing. I got tickets. You can't. I was like, dude, where the
He's
fuck
getting
have
more
you been?
comfortable.
Yeah, but I was like, where have you been? Wow, you really like. Why did they keep him silent for so
Because
long?
he was the enforcer.
What? He's so good.
Same reason why you're not hearing Jacob talk that much. And Jacob can talk.
He can. He definitely can. But it's just like, babe, like Can you imagine if Solo was talking like when Sammy was around?
Oh, yeah.
Like that could have been epic. Like absolutely epic, because he's actually just as funny as the rest of them, but just as intense too. He's like, I did not know that he had that in him.
Tara has joined. She says hi. She's disgusted with the Yankees, aren't we all? I disagree about what Sammy did. I think he's collecting information to bring back to his tribal chief. You know what? That's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, this could be Roman pulling the strings, but the only reason why I don't think that is because Sammy seemed very convincing about talking to Jay and like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you going to go back to Roman after everything that they did, kind of thing?
Right. But I still can't see him chumming up to Solo so much, so to speak, either. So
Yeah.
it's gonna have a plot twist. We just don't know which plot twist it's gonna have yet. But I don't agree with like the people online that keep calling it like, oh, heel Sammy. Sammy's not going heel.
Sammy's not going heel.
Mm-mm.
Sammy's
No
not
way.
going heel. It would ruin the entire reunion of the original bloodline without Sammy.
Absolutely.
You
It
know,
would like, the two choices: keep him out of it, or
but
get him back with the OTC, not sideline him. Right.
here's my thing, though. The only thing that makes me really nervous is what Jay said to Sammy backstage, where he said, "You wouldn't understand. You're not family." And the look on Sammy's face, so I could understand why people are thinking Sammy's upset. And maybe he's like, fuck you attitude. Now maybe I will go talk to Solo. I hope not.
Unless,
Dave
like I said,
Abbey over at YouTube thinks Heyman is going to pull him back. And that's what I said before. I think at the end of the day, I think Heyman's the one that brings Sammy in, and that would be awesome.
Paul Heyman hasn't done that already. If this isn't all part of the wise man's wise plan.
If he is really pulling the strings, or he's really just sitting by the wayside. But Heyman's always got his hands in something.
Exactly. And that's what we love about it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Tara says, no, that's why he was talking to Solo. I know, I'm confused.
Why he was talking to Solo. Lost that one.
You're going to have to explain that a little bit. So you move on.
But we're not that tired.
Yeah, right. So moving on while we wait for that. Andrade, Carmelo, best of 7, number 7, with LA Knight.
Hated that finish.
Well, I did too. Although I kind of figured it was going to go down that way, and then it was going to set up a triple threat, because I've been saying for a while this is going to end in a triple threat for the title. So that's what we're getting. So I guess it's it's the typical way of setting that up. But you have to know when LA Knight's, being the special referee and he can't stand both, that's what's going to happen.
I understand, like I said, I understand the finish, but I think it was just a shitty finish. Being all buddy. Oh, she means Solo with Sammy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're agreeing with you on that.
Yeah. That's fine.
So,
but
And it's a shame because it was a great match. I mean, those guys always put on great matches, but you're right. I didn't like the finish at all.
That was probably, which I didn't think they could top the other 6 matches, but that match was fucking on fire.
Yeah. And it's tough, too, a best of 7.
It is. It
you know,
definitely.
to keep it different and interesting for 7 straight, well, not straight. I mean, they had some breaks in between, but you know what I mean. To keep it fresh and different. You can't do the same match 7 times and, you know, just tweak the finish.
They didn't have Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat's book with all the moves in it.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Naomi versus Candice LeRae.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely teasing. It is definitely teasing the face turn and cash in for Tiffany Stratton.
Correct. Definitely.
Right? Because now Nia's seeing something in Candice LeRae, almost seems like she's replacing. So that's just setting it up. And boy, is that going... You talk about a crowd reaction when she officially does turn and cash in, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
You think she's going to do it at Crown Jewel on Saturday?
It's very possible.
It'd be an interesting place to do it because she could technically cash in on both of them.
I feel like lately, there is always one title change when they go to Crown Jewel now.
Correct. And I don't think of any other the matches that there would be a title change. It predominantly is a women's match.
Yeah.
Like the women.
Unless you're the Fiend. In a Hell in a Cell match that you get disqualified.
That's why I said woman.
Yeah.
That's why I said because I just Liv beat Becky and won.
Yeah.
Over there, you know, the tag team titles changed hands when in Scotland when Ilba Fire and Isla Dawn won and everything. So that's where it tends to happen.
Right.
And that started with the Iconics when they won in Australia. So it's always a women's match in some way, shape, or form. So it's either going to be the women's tag match or it's going to be that match. But I think it's probably going to be Tiffy because actually that belt's neither one of the women's belts are on the line. It's to gain a new belt.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
What if she passes in and wins a female one of the regular titles and wins that Crown Jewel title?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. And we'll get more into Crown Jewel, too, and we'll give our predictions. But we got to talk Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, my God. That was fucking amazing.
I got to tell you, I'm so excited for these guys. It has been a long road to officially get a spot, not only on the roster, but how 3 matches later, and they're your new tag team champions. They won the number 1 contenders match, and then the Bloodline came out. What's his face? Mickey James's husband. Aldis comes out. Nick Aldis comes out, and they convince him right then and there, let's have the match. And Jay, after getting screwed out of his IC title, came to return the favor and screw the Tongas out of the tag titles, which was so great. And what a great way to advance different aspects, because you got the Motor City Machine Guns now making an impact and being WWE Tag Team Champions. No pun intended. And then now signifying that Jay is going to reunite with Jimmy, which happened later on, and then more so on SmackDown. I couldn't be happier for them. It's really awesome.
And you know what? I normally can't stand when it's like a debut team or a new group that comes in and like, oh, you get a title shot like this first or second night you're there. They did it perfectly for them, that they built them up even though it was only their third match. It was still a perfect. Hey, look who's here.
David Rosca. What's up, Stephen Cat? David, what's going on, my friend? How you been? Welcome to the show. Yeah, it's Tara. They're awesome. I did watch TNA, so I honestly had no idea who they were. Oh, I didn't watch it, but they really impressed me. They have been a solid team for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Which for a tag team just makes it so easy because you always know what the other person is thinking at all times. And they do it really well.
Yep.
Here we go. David Rosca, the modern day Nadia Comaneci. Trish Stratus is coming back. Okay, we'll see. Tara, I agree, Cat Jared. He fucking loves Trish Stratus, man. Gotta love Dave Rosca.
I do. As long
So,
as he doesn't get at the Yankees, I'm okay.
yeah. Still loving the fact that Raw's 2 hours, by the way.
It's confusing, isn't it?
What's confusing, that it's 2 hours?
That it's 2 hours. I'm like, wait, it's over? What the hell? I've been so used to watching it for 3 hours every week. It feels weird to end it so early.
I know, but I'm enjoying it. I gotta tell you.
Too.
It's,
I don't mind it. It's just weird.
but I don't think we can get used to it because everything I'm hearing is that when they go to Netflix, they're back to 3 hours.
Gotcha. Like I said, it took some getting used to the first couple of weeks, and now I'm like, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock. What the fuck do I watch now?
I know.
Damn.
It is weird.
What's on at 10 o'clock at night? And like, there's nothing on at 10 o'clock on a Monday, so it's
Not
like,
a
dude,
fucking thing.
you just fucking screwed me over because I'm not watching that stupid show afterward.
Which one?
The scare
on
practice. That scare practice or the anonymous
Oh.
thingamajig that comes on right after. I'm like, I'm not watching this fucking shit.
I don't watch that shit. So Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a decent Raw.
It was.
It wasn't. It wasn't anything amazing.
It's kind of weird for a going home show, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
didn't
I
do
mean, there were
anything
some
to build
moments.
Yes,
Um,
it didn't do a lot to build up Saturday, though, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, I do like how they continued the Rollins,
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed deal, where you didn't think they were going to touch because they made promises, but well, that didn't happen, and Bronson took a foot stomp onto a car, and then no-sold it, and threw Rollins off the top of I don't even know what it was, threw about 4 tables.
Yeah,
Across.
I couldn't tell what that was either. That scaffolding thing. Yeah.
But I just love everything that they're doing with Bronson. He's so great.
He's amazing. I can't argue anything about him. Heel or face, you just can't help but love him. He's really, really good.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser. It was a great match. It was
Absolutely.
hard-hitting. It was everything I expected. Although I honestly thought Ludwig was going to go over.
I did too.
But you can't ever be mad when Sheamus is the one that goes over.
Not at all.
Ivy Nile versus Zelina Vega. Honestly, I could give a shit less. Yeah, that match did really nothing for me. And that's not to take anything away from either of them. They're both great. I don't know.
It just didn't work.
I'm not really invested. Now, one match I was very invested in was the New Day versus the LWO and the return of the War Raiders. No more of this Viking Raider shit. We're back to the War Raiders.
And they look fucking amazing.
They look great. And it was a great match.
was.
I'm glad to see that the War Raiders got over.
Me too.
And, of course, advanced the animosity building between Kofi and Xavier. So that's happening at any time. I also then like backstage where The Miz is kind of begging for forgiveness to R-Truth. R-Truth knocks him out. And next segment gets abducted by Uncle Howdy.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
I still just... You're putting Karrion Kross and his team in another position to fail.
Yes.
Because you're not going to have them go over the Wyatt Six.
Correct.
I understand why they're doing it. Mathematically, it makes sense.
Right. That's
But-
why I say that the Final Testament should have been the first group, the first faction that they went after. I'm sorry, Liberty sucks. Oh, that's basketball.
Keep it wrestling, Dave.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
From Dave Abbey. Dave, you're going to have to elaborate on that one, my brother. Wait, what? They're going to lose? I feel so fucking bad for him because he's such a big carrying cross guy. I mean, I am too.
Right.
And it just sucks to be at a place where it's like almost inevitable at this point that no matter what, he's going to lose. He's going to talk a lot of shit. People are going to get pissed that he gets to go home with Scarlett every single night. But he's going to continue to lose. But then I say, well, he's really not losing, right? He's collecting a great paycheck and goes home with Scarlett every night.
They still have Ellering. You have one of the other.
Kat, you're breaking out. If you can hear me, nobody heard
Is
a
that
word
better?
you said. Try start
Yeah.
over.
I said, but it was like, you still have you're ruining Paul Ellering too. And Paul Ellering's one of the greatest managerial minds up there with Paul Heyman.
But what's wrong with that?
Nothing. I feel like it's wasting Paul Ellering because of how good Paul Ellering is. They're not utilizing him. He doesn't do anything. Like, aside from taking...
He took a mean mandible claw.
Right, but that was the first time. When do we hear him talk anymore, really? We don't.
I don't know how much he can.
Right, but I don't understand the point of what, like, aside from reuniting him with AOP, which I get because it was stupid to break Paul Ellering up from AOP in the first place, but he serves no purpose in the Final Testament whatsoever. No. And that sucks because
he's there to give his wisdom to them. But
working.
it's almost looking like Ellering has no wisdom to give because they can't fucking catch a win.
Like, he's the original wise man of professional wrestling before they were calling Paul Heyman a wise man.
That's true.
So it's like, I love, like I said, I love Karrion Kross, I love Scarlett, I love AOP. I just don't understand what Paul's doing there. And I wish he had more to do because he's a genius in this industry and he's not doing anything.
That's true.
So that
is very true. Well, I get it. Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, good God.
I mean, listen, Dominic takes a great ass whipping.
He does.
You had to figure... I had a very big feeling that Dom was winning this match. From the very beginning. That somehow, some way, he was going to get out of there with the win. And he did. Of course, with the help of everybody. But he did. But I'm okay with that. How great would it be if in the end of all this, Dirty Dominic Mysterio somehow wins the world title?
Oh, God, no. Please, no.
The heat. If you didn't think that Dominic could ever get more heat, that would be how. Could you imagine?
And it would be because of Raquel somehow, because she did something, because I can't do it. No. Okay, I said there are very few things on this show that could trigger me. You just did it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
I mean, listen, I don't see any way that Gunther's gonna lay down for Dom.
Exactly. I'm thinking of every single wrestler in WWE that can defeat Gunther. It ain't. It's like saying Akira Tozawa did it. I can't do it.
But imagine if he did.
Oh my God, no, I don't want to. That's the thing nightmares are made of. I'm having a hard time enough dealing with, with the fact that Rhea Ripley hasn't won the women's title back yet from Liv Morgan yet. Don't, ruin my parade by making them dual, the Dirty Dom Liv Revenge Tour champions together. Blech.
I'm thoroughly enjoying Liv's title reign right now, and I'm enjoying Rhea's chase. So I'm totally okay with it.
I'm enjoying the storylines every single week about it or whatever, but it's just like, come on, let this little thing lose the belt already.
Yeah. Well,
Like, who would have thought that, like, 5 years ago, that of everybody that was in the Riot Squad and everything that was happening in professional wrestling, you think that you were going to be complimenting Liv Morgan as the women's champion and doing a good job at it? Never would have thought we would be having that conversation.
that's true.
Like when she beat Ronda, we was like, okay, it was a fluke Money in the Bank cash in or whatever. Like, okay, that makes sense. That's how come she won and everything like that. But now 2 years later from that, and we're still talking about her being a women's champion. And Raquel has still never been one on the main roster. Make that make sense.
I will tell you this, though.
Mm.
Raquel is so much better as a heel.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
She's
enjoying
horrible. Horrible as a face.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this version of her.
And, you know, I said it last week. And I'll say it again. What's great about Raquel's heel turn is all her reasons are justified.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a Drew McIntyre situation.
Correct.
So, but it just makes her an even better heel.
Correct.
So, and not to mention her size. I mean, she's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good.
but she's better when she mean mugs and she doesn't try and put on the fake smile and the fucking back pose. Like, enough of that. Just stand out there, cross your arms, and just dominate and beat people's asses. So I think we're getting the Raquel that, you know, we've all wanted. Crown Jewel.
Carlito wants that, Raquel.
Carlito is just great for comic relief, if anything. Crown Jewel this Saturday.
Yep.
You haven't been on. I know you listen.
Correct.
Is it not driving you crazy that multiple times a show, Raw, SmackDown, you got these security guys with the white fucking gloves and this monstrous case, and they have to show this gaudy belt to the fucking camera, and then they have to lock it. It's
stupid.
It is what it is.
Triple H seldomly makes mistakes that are big mistakes. This has been a big mistake. Yeah.
The belt itself may not be a mistake if they're
No,
going
the whole premise
if
behind it and everything is just like, oh my god, we know it's freak. It's like the idea for like the greatest Royal Rumble when they did that in Saudi Arabia. It's like,
well, and nobody's going to be able to carry it around. You know what I mean? So you're going to see it once a year at this Crown Jewel, you know, yearly thing they're going to do now. This year we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. I got to tell you, I'm not a Cody hater. There are others that can't stand him. Cody, it doesn't bother me. Gunther should kick his ass.
absolutely.
And because because Cody's not in jeopardy of losing his belt, it's just gaining this crown jewel. I think we actually got a shot at Gunther winning.
I hope so. I really do. I really, really do. And I agree 1,000,000% with that.
Maybe Kevin Owens costs Cody the match, and sets up their match for Survivor Series.
That's a good setup. And then again, like you said, it keeps him out of the bloodline story and everything like that. So I'm good with that. 1,000,000%.
Got to keep him busy.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you're in agreement. Gunther, we're going to go with Gunther on that one?
So, yep. Mm-hmm.
Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say that Liv is going to win, and that Tiffy's cashing in on Nia.
I'm gonna agree partially. I'm gonna say Tiffy passes in during the match, and she's a women's champion and the crown jewel champion.
Nia.
Tiffy. I think
Would
Tiffy's
she-
gonna put herself in the match like it becomes triple threat.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, I think Tiffy's gonna get in the match. I think she's gonna pull a Seth Rollins, and then she's gonna be the crown jewel champion plus the women's champion.
Ooh. That's a curveball.
Yep,
But can she
but-
cash in for both?
Doesn't matter. Winner takes all for that belt. So whoever she pins,
But not. Well, yeah, that's true.
whoever she pins in the match, she is the champion of that show. Because it's not that title is not on the line unless she cashes in.
Dave
So-
Abbey over at YouTube. Gunther would then hold the crown, the Saudi belt, and the championship. Yeah. Could you consider him a triple crown champion at that point?
Ha 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 ha. Yep.
I could totally see that happening.
Mhm.
So, but that's I wonder. That would be great if Tiffy entered herself rather than just trying to get the quick, cheap win.
Nope.
I would
yep,
be
I
okay
think,
with that.
I think she's gonna pull a Seth Rollins. I really do. That she's gonna put herself in the match. Nia's gonna get all pissed or whatever, and Liv does something, and Tiffy scores the pin. Be very interested to see what type of outfit Tiffany's gonna wear at Saudi Arabia too.
Oh, that's right, because they're going to be pretty much covered up.
I'm sorry, that's one of the things that excites me the most or whatever. I love when they go there to see what they put together for the women's gear for that.
They always look pretty good.
They do, but
It's just like full bodysuits, really.
Right. Well, don't forget, remember originally they were wearing their wrestling gear with t-shirts.
Right, I remember that.
So to see that drastic a change is really
Well,
cool.
listen, when they first started this, you couldn't even have a women's match.
This is true.
Then it graduated to one.
Yep.
Now we have multiple. So
Natalia Lacey Evans was the first one, I think, if I recall correctly,
I think you're right.
which was cool. Nothing. You need to go get ready for bed, please. Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. So we had the Bronson Reed Seth Rollins brawl. We kind of covered that already.
Bronson's kicking his ass.
I don't know. I feel like Bronson always loses the big one.
But that's what I mean. This is a crown jewel show, so it kind of can go both ways. Because if you look at it, most of the time there's only one or two heel matches that actually where the heel wins. So in that case with that, I would kind of think that the match where it wouldn't matter so much for a heel to win would be the Bronson Reed match, because Gunther winning over there isn't considered a heel win. They love Gunther over there. He gets a huge pop.
That's true.
So I figure if my heel match, I figured I was going to go Bronson Reed.
I mean, I sure as hell am okay with it. I would love to see Bronson go over. I think he needs a big win.
He does.
You know, I mean, he didn't win the one with Braun.
Right.
So I would be good with it.
I would be too. Yeah.
This is actually for Crown. I mean, Crown Jewel. This is a decent card.
It is.
Didn't they add the women's tag titles to the?
Correct. There's a fatal four-way. So it's got Bianca and Jade, Damage Control, the two chicks from NXT, you know, that Lacey
Yeah.
and Ashley.
And then Io Sky and
Yeah,
Io.
they're who's the fourth team? Shit, I forgot.
The tag team from NXT.
Yeah, but no, so we got Io and
Carrie Sane
Kane, Damage Control, the two chicks from NXT, and
Bianca and Jade.
Yep.
I mean, I don't see Bianca and Jade not walking out of that as champions.
This time I think they're going to retain over there. Yep.
Yeah, they'll retain.
Yep.
If they're going to lose them, I think it would be more at Survivor Series.
Correct. And if by any chance that they actually did lose for any reason, then my guess would probably be on Damage Control.
Okay, I could see that too. By the way, did you hear about Obafemi?
I saw Halloween Havoc, but what else?
Obafemi has officially said goodbye
No.
to NXT.
Oh.
Obafemi has been called up to the main roster,
Oh, shit.
from what I understand. And for those of you that do not watch NXT, go on YouTube and look up some footage about Obafemi.
Yeah.
Because he is a monster. And he is great. So I am excited to see him on the main roster.
Absolutely. On the mic, on the ring, everything. He is a total package performer.
He's great. He's absolutely fantastic. So that's a big call up. So I'm excited for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, of course it's true. Omos with talent. Yeah, definitely an Omos with talent. Which, by the way, did Omos get released? Because we haven't seen or heard about him in... When was the last fucking time we saw Omos?
Royal Rumble.
I mean, it was before MVP got released.
Yeah, he was an entrant in the Royal Rumble, and that was it. I haven't seen him since.
Wow. So we're talking almost a year. He hasn't been on TV. So does he just sit in catering all day, every day?
I guess I didn't, until he said Omos with talent, I forgot all about Omos altogether.
I did too, quite honestly.
Everybody else from the Hurt Business or whatever,
They're all on AEW now.
AEW now, yeah.
So I want to ask you something too. I've been hearing a rumor a lot lately, and I mean, if I've heard it, I'm sure you have. Your thoughts on the rumors flying that Vince McMahon is in the works of starting a new company, a new wrestling company?
Do you notice though it stopped after the new lawsuit that came out about the Ring Boys though?
Wait, what?
I said those rumors completely stopped once the new lawsuit came out from the Ring Boys. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about the Ring Boys, but I've been seeing it again recently.
Oh, have you? I was gonna say I had it.
In fact, I saw it as recent as yesterday.
Oh wow! No, I hadn't seen. The last time I heard about it was like a little over a week ago before the new lawsuit came out. So okay.
Yeah, I've been hearing it's coming up again, so we'll see if that happens. Also, WWE has announced that they started their own indie federation.
Yes, that I heard.
Where the fuck was that 20 years ago?
Right?
That's a great idea. I've been hearing mixed reactions online, which I find interesting. I think it's a great idea. You know, some people are thinking, so they're going to torture you for 3 years and then they'll bring you onto NXT and then they'll fire you. But you got to figure that's going to happen. But that's going to happen anywhere. You're going to get some that, you know, I mean, Dave Abbey's right over at YouTube. They had OVW. It's kind of similar, you know, except this, I think, is going to be held out of the Performance Center in Orlando.
But I think that's a great idea, though, or whatever, because like you said, they had OVW, but we didn't get to see what was going on in Ohio Valley.
And look how popular OVW got just from that Netflix special that they did.
Yep.
Which I wonder if they're picking up a season 2, because I heard that there was talks of a season 2, and Heels, I'm hoping, is popular on Netflix. So that Netflix decides to pick it up and continue it. But for those of you that haven't seen Heels yet, get on Netflix and watch it. It's one of the greatest wrestling shows ever made. It really is. It was so good.
But like I said, we didn't get Ohio Valley televised, but look at how many talents came out of there. If we didn't, like, Ohio Valley had John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar,
Batista.
Batista had all these guys that were learning and wanting to come up and everything.
Miz.
Like Yeah.
Miz started in OVW.
And look how far they came and where they go. I think it's a brilliant idea. Like, we all know a lot of ROH dudes eventually end up on the AEW roster or get pulled and
Well,
everything.
listen, you want to talk Ring of Honor? I mean, Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know,
yeah. Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn
Sami
Balor.
Yeah.
So
They are old Ring of Honor boys or whatever that, and like people are like, oh wow, they look at this newcomer, whatever. He's not a newcomer. He's been doing this for 15 years in the Indies.
Dijak that they fucked over.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that's, you know.
The War Raiders.
Yeah, these are all
Ring of Honor guys.
And had these huge fan bases in the Indies. Like, I think people do a disservice not watching some of the Indies stuff and everything like that, because this is how you see these up and comers, and you get to learn about them. CM Punk, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he's another good one. That's right.
Some of the best wrestlers that you have seen in WWE and AEW over the past 10 years were all indie stars for 10 years before their call-ups.
AJ Styles, Austin Aries, Christopher Daniels.
Yep.
I mean,
Neville, who gives a shit how long it takes them to call up? If they find people that they can milk their talent for a good 5-6 years and then they become this unstoppable when they make it to the main roster, I think it would be fun to watch them start from the bottom and watch them work their way up. That makes them more, yes, it did become NXT. But
you know what? I want to talk about that point. So Dave Abbey, OVW became NXT, which is very true. But they're trying to make NXT more of a brand than a developmental. So now by doing this whole indie thing, now that will be known as their developmental, and NXT is going to become a true third brand. So you're going to have Raw, SmackDown, NXT as brands. I think that's what they're going to do.
Either.
I don't either. You know, it's like you start in the indies, you promote to NXT, you get the reps in, you go to Raw or SmackDown, and then the rest is, is what it is.
DIY.
It's another good one. Candice LeRae.
Yeah, like what, 6 years in the indies before they got signed to NXT?
Yeah.
And into at least 6 years DIY. I mean, Johnny Gargano was Mr. Wrestling before he even started teaming with Tommaso.
Yeah. It's very true.
A whole bunch of different ways you could do it. Like I said, there's a real disservice to the, and I hate that too, like on the switchboards and the fans or whatever. Oh, well, who wants to watch the indies? Those guys aren't going to make it. They're just whatever fake wrestlers. Like, really?
It's the future of the business.
You have no business without these indie kids trying to break in.
Correct. Dave Abbey over at YouTube. Speaking of NXT, I was all in on Julia until Zarya showed up. She's a monster.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the three that just arrived, Julia, Zarya, and what's her face?
Stephanie.
Those three, huge for NXT. Absolutely huge. Julia is something special, and she is gorgeous. Zarya is beautiful too. Zarya, the monster. She reminds me a lot of like a Bull Nakano.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. She's gonna be fun to watch.
And that's the other thing too. If you watched Indies and everything and all that stuff, you know who Delta was.
Right. Imagine her versus who's the other one that just came back with the humongous ass?
Oh, Nikita Lyons or whatever.
Imagine those two going at it.
It's really pathetic that you just go the one with the humongous ass, and I just like, oh, Nikita, yeah.
I mean, she's got the biggest rear end in the WWE. It surpasses Nia Jax.
Maybe, yeah. That's exactly where I went to there. That
I know. Imagine those two. Imagine a triple threat with those three. Could you imagine?
Damn. Now I just became Ron Simmons. Oops.
Dave Abbey, imagine Rhea versus Zarya.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to take very long for Zarya to get to the main roster, to be honest with you. So that might happen sooner than we actually think.
because Easy, they're gonna put they'd make a huge disservice if they didn't put them in the Women's Royal Rumble either to set up that storyline for them for a call up.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
It's like, like we all know, like I don't care how many times anybody says it, like, yep, no, Joe Hendry's gonna be in the Royal Rumble. I don't care what any of you say.
Joe Hendry is definitely going to be in
Say
the Royal
his
Rumble.
name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Did you hear the one that they did with the Hardys?
Yes, that's what I said. I'm doing the Matt Hardy one.
Oh my god, it is so funny. But you gotta, if you haven't seen it, you gotta like find it on TikTok or YouTube because you gotta watch it with the video.
Yep.
Because the video makes it all. Watch it because the Hardys are in it with him. In fact, they were at, I want to say, a Chicago game.
And then, I believe in Matt Hardy.
But it started playing in the stadium, and the
Yes,
three of them were sitting together.
Yep.
It was
Oh,
very
my God.
cool. Joe
Right.
Hendry is a star. He is definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble. There is no doubt in my mind. And I think he's going to have a solid run in the Rumble. He sure as hell's not going to win. But
No,
it's just a matter of time before Joe Hendry's in WWE.
I can't wait for that. But oh my God, we played that. I surprised Autumn and I had the DJ play that at her Sweet 16. And even kids that knew nothing about wrestling, like the wrestling kids were like on one side going nuts. And all these other kids like, oh, I know that song. And they're all singing freaking Joe Hendry. It's like in the middle of the dance floor. It was hilarious.
It's so funny.
And of
But-
course, Alex was in the center of it, showing off.
Oh, I'm sure. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. Is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you wanted to get in or cover before we took off?
I'm trying to think. So like I said, we have the War Raiders as the new number one.
Ooh, Dave Abbey. Julia could run Damage Control.
Ooh.
I would love to see that. You imagine putting her in there, Asuka comes back, you got all of them together.
Oh my God. We could have another argument back and forth in Japanese.
Oh, that's what's missing. Maybe have Shinsuke join them somehow.
He's coming back this week too.
That's what I heard. But
Yeah.
imagine, like, you have all of them together. I know it sounds kind of racist, but you can have, that could be a whole nother faction.
It doesn't sound racist. That
Well,
sounds
you're just pairing all the Asians together, But the reality is it would be great.
Well,
And
Bailey
then Dakota would get hurt again. I mean, that's inevitable. She's one that I'm worried, to be honest with you, because eventually they're going to figure that she's injury prone.
Yep.
And they're not going to renew her contract. I mean, she's getting hurt way too often.
And that sucks because she's a really good talent too.
Yeah, she is.
She's not like one of those ones that like keeps getting injured or whatever, and she's not good. She would actually be a loss to the women's division if
Oh, yeah,
if that happens. Yeah,
100%.
maybe
Well-
Hunter will have a little sympathy on it since he's torn his quads more than once.
That's true, too. Yeah, I mean, listen, we also have to remember this is not the age of Vince. So Triple H may handle stuff like that differently because he went through his fair share of injuries and, so that's possible. We have to get out of the mentality of the Vince, what we know of how Vince would have handled things. We got to,
Compare my quads walking into a ring.
but
Did you hear really quick too about the thing about the reason why Samantha Irvin did leave WWE?
so interesting you brought that up. I did. And I hear that it solely was the fact that she hated ring announcing.
Right.
And that she wanted to do something else like manage or anything, and they just said they have nothing for her, and that's why she left. And I'm thinking, for somebody that hated it, she
were
became one of the best ring announcers ever in history.
Damn straight. That's why I was like, I was so shocked by that answer. I was
Because
just
it came across always like she loved what she was doing.
Yep.
And secretly hated it.
her. Mm-hmm.
You truly never know. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
But
I'm
it
glad-
shows you what a pro she is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And I'm extremely happy that Lillian's back because for the reasons
She's
why
great.
she did leave, it sucked for her to have to close her chapter like that. So I'm all happy for her to be there, but I'm just like, damn, you hated it?
Yeah,
That
that was mind-blowing. I didn't see that coming.
I did. I thought it was going to be about Ricochet and AEW.
She also swears up and down that she is never going to AEW. So I think she's got something music career-wise that she's probably focusing on because she can sing her ass off. So,
Oh, I know. Remember the whole time we didn't realize that was her on AGT?
Yeah, I had no idea. Isn't that amazing?
I was like, we were watching that season. What the hell? How did we miss that?
It's amazing. But on that note, top of the hour, I want to thank everybody for checking us out and tuning in. You can find us every Tuesday, 9 p.m. live on Facebook in certain places. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitch, LinkedIn, and then all the streaming anywhere within 24 to 48 hours. You can find it on Apple, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You name it, we're there. Find it, The War Report, or tag me a date. All one word, but that'll take you there. We also have shorts and reels and everything on Facebook Live and TikTok and LinkedIn and wherever else. So watch us, tell your friends, tune in every week. Join in on the conversation. I want to thank Tara and Dave Rosca and Dave Abbey for tuning in and checking us out and chiming in. And we will be back next week live, 9 p.m. Tuesday and every Tuesday. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next week.